The news loves ribbon cuttings.
Yes.
They love a ribbon cutting. They'll probably send someone out to take some pictures so you can get a picture of you with a big scissors, you know. Hey everyone, welcome to the S.O.B Marketing Podcast, where we celebrate the S.O.B that you are, and if you haven't figured it out yet, we mean small-owned business. We don't mean S.O.B.
Listen, we know that as a small business owner, you are working hard on the daily to keep your business fully operational while trying to promote it. And while some days it may feel like the business is owning you, if we're being honest with each other, I bet you would admit that you wouldn't give up the insanity for anything.
Our commitment here at the S.O.B Marketing Podcast is to give you the real talk, what works when it comes to advertising, marketing, promoting your business, and then what doesn't really work.
And Chelsea and I promise to always keep the conversation real.
Vivian, can I ask you a question?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, when's the last time you went to a ribbon cutting?
It's been a long time ago.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
So today we're talking about ribbon cuttings, but before we get into it, I want to say if you guys are planning a ribbon cutting, we want an invitation.
Yeah, the only thing is if you're out like in Ontario, Canada or something.
You
like,
said it wrong first. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
We're not going to be able to make that one because
Yeah,
we're not
probably
doing,
not.
yeah.
Mhm.
But if you are in the low country
Yes.
or even in the state of South Carolina, we would love to come to any and all ribbon cuttings.
I'll go to some places in Georgia.
There you go. Yes, we
Yeah.
will travel.
Yes, just not to Ontario. So
Even
I'm
though
sorry,
we love our
Canada.
Canadian listeners, we love you guys.
We do. We're just we're not quite big enough to go to Canada yet, I think. Okay, Vivian, I kind of gave it away already, but what are we talking about today?
We are going to be talking about ribbon cutting specifically. We're going to talk about what exactly happens during ribbon cuttings, okay? Because perhaps you're a small business owner that is about to open up. You want to take full advantage of this great opportunity to promote your small business. However, maybe you just have never attended a ribbon cutting, or maybe the last time you did was many, many moons ago. And so we're just going to give you a little refresher course on what happens during ribbon cuttings, what to expect, and then also go back and listen to our other episode where we specifically covered
why ribbon cuttings are worth your time.
Yes. So we're not going to tell you why they're worth your time.
Because we already talked about that once.
Yes.
So today we're talking about what actually happens.
That's right.
But before, Vivian, we start this conversation, pew, 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 I have the marketing hot take. This is something that we've discussed in that other episode, but I want to bring it up again because it's a very common misconception. Ribbon cuttings are not just for grand openings. No. If you can have a ribbon cutting for any like major event for your small business. Great example, you're coming up on your 5-year anniversary.
Yes.
Great time to do a ribbon cutting.
If you're perhaps moving locations, you are 100% allowed to have another ribbon cutting for your new location. If you're opening a second location, right,
Yeah.
you'll want to have a ribbon cutting for that. If maybe you've done, you've hit a certain milestone, like your 10,000th customer.
Ooh.
Okay, that'd be a fun one to do a ribbon cutting for. People don't really need a reason to celebrate. I mean, you kind of
need a reason. You can't just have a random ribbon cutting, but
This is coming from the same lady that in the last episode told you that you could do it and do things in any order you want. It's absolute chaos. There is no measuring in recipes, all that good stuff. But now she's laying down the law. She's saying you have to have a reason to party.
I'm saying that doing a ribbon cutting every Thursday is not going to be effective.
No, you are correct. You do want to save it for the special occasions. But, we encourage you guys to always be creative. So you could be as creative as you want. Just be sure you're not partying every Thursday.
Yeah, sorry. I am laying down the law for that one. No partying every Thursday. It's not going to work out.
All right, Chelsea, where shall we start today?
Okay. I split this conversation up into 3 different parts. We're going to talk about how to prep for your ribbon cutting, what happens the day of your ribbon cutting, and then post ribbon cutting events.
Yes.
Well, not events, but like things you got to do.
Yeah.
Post ribbon cutting.
Post-event things. All right. Well, so can we start maybe though by talking about reframing our mindset with ribbon cuttings? And this kind of is just a little bit of a extension to what we were just talking about, which is as creative as you want to be for, deciding what reason you want to host a ribbon cutting event. I think a lot of times people think that a ribbon cutting is the end goal. Like that's it, right? That is the destination.
Okay.
Once you get there, nothing else happens. But you just alluded to this by saying there are post-event things that you're going to want to do after hosting your ribbon cutting. So to me, what that says is it's not the end goal, right? So maybe let's reframe our mind to think a ribbon cutting event could potentially just be a launch to like a marketing campaign or a segue into some other promotion.
A ribbon cutting is nothing more than a marketing strategy. It's not a marketing goal, right? It's a strategy, and most strategies that we have in our marketing kind of link together and they follow through into other things, other happenings, other strategies. So let's remember that a ribbon cutting at the end of the day is an effective way to promote your business.
Yes.
It's not the end goal.
Right. So, and we always believe in reiterating the purpose of why you guys are doing these things. You have such limited amount of time. We're never going to recommend that you do something just for the sake of doing it.
Yeah.
This type of event, even though, because if you haven't ever hosted an event, if you've never hosted Thanksgiving at your house, you do not know what you are in for, right?
Vivian only hosted 1 year.
Just 1 year, and I served cauliflower mashed potatoes.
Yes,
and
Tim has never forgiven her.
No, I have never recovered. Dad still talks about him to this day.
It's true.
It has marked me for the rest of my life. It's kind of like my scarlet letter.
No, I mean, you think we're being dramatic. Legit, Tim the other day was talking about Thanksgiving. If mom and dad are gone, he's going to have to take over because he's not letting Vivian take over.
I'm trying to be healthy and keep my people healthy. I'm sorry. Cauliflower mashed potatoes seem like a good idea.
Thanksgiving is not the day to have cauliflower mashed potatoes. Any other day, fine, but not Thanksgiving. Okay. Where were you going with this?
So I was just going to say, hosting events can be very stressful. There's a lot of coordination. I'm not saying that to deter you. There's just a lot of work that goes into these things. And so you want to be sure that top of mind is always going to be that your purpose is to promote your business, because I think that is going to shape the way that you manage and the way that you put this event together.
Yeah, you don't want to get lost in the sauce is what it is.
Don't get lost in the cauliflower mashed potatoes.
Make sure that we're getting to the end goal.
Yes.
And just want to reiterate also that ribbon cuttings are wonderful tools when it comes to PR, when it comes to attracting new people to your business. It's great for visibility.
Yes.
Okay.
I love that.
Are we ready to start with what to prep?
Yes, let's talk about prepping.
Okay, so prepping. This one's going to blow your mind, Vivian, but I have the very first thing is pick your date and time.
Shocking.
Pick the date and time. That's the very first thing you got to do. I'm sorry, I am giving you instructions that you got to follow in order this time. We also need to think about what are we planning for the event? Are we going to have refreshments? How are we decorating? Do you have a storefront? Or are you hosting a ribbon cutting somewhere else? Now, this is something that you can do if you're like an online business or something like that. I know this is a blast from the past, Vivian. Well, I don't remember what episode it was, but we were talking about your Chamber of Commerce. Your local Chamber of Commerce, if you're a part of it, you can host a ribbon cutting in their facility.
Yes, absolutely. Chamber of Commerce big allies for small
Yeah.
businesses. That is their entire purpose, okay? to give businesses an opportunity to shine, to attract more people, and to just go out and promote local community businesses. And so if you don't have a storefront, that's okay. Reach out to them, talk to them directly. They are more than willing most times to host it at their location and still help with coordinating. And so we can talk about that in a little bit, but I do want to kind of open up that can of worms to say exactly what type of opportunities or assistance they can provide to hosting these.
Yeah. Chamber of Commerce, they are a wonderful asset when it comes to ribbon cutting. We're going to get to that. Let me finish the prepping. You want to give yourself 4 to 6 weeks time to plan this event. That's important. Trust me, you need to actually plan this out.
Yeah. And that month to month and a half also helps with being able to get people, get on people's schedules. Okay.
Yes.
Depending, we'll talk about, who to invite next, but obviously you want to be cognizant of their schedule and not saying that you have to coordinate around them, just saying you want to give them enough lead time to be able to attend if they would like, or to send someone on their behalf.
Exactly. So that was my next bullet point is invite people. You want to invite them, let them know at least 3 to 4 weeks ahead of time.
Yes.
Like Vivian said, to give them time to figure out their schedules. Send a press release to all the local news stations. Everyone. You want to get as many eyeballs on your event as possible. The news loves ribbon cuttings.
Yes.
They love a ribbon cutting. They'll probably send someone out to take some pictures so you can get a picture of you with a big scissors, like they send out that press release.
Can I have one of you, if you're planning on hosting a ribbon cutting, do one with little scissors, like little baby scissors? And so then that way the news is out there for like an hour because it takes you an hour to cut through
the
ribbon.
Don't listen to her. Don't do that. You want to, Vivian, let your audience know multiple times about your event. You can't just post one time and be like, oh, they saw it. No, they didn't see that. I promise you, most people didn't see it. You got to show up multiple times. Consistency in reminding them will help them remember. Do you know how long it has taken me to remember Record Store Day?
How many years?
How many years? I love Record Store Day. Every single time I'm like, when is that? Yeah.
When is it? April
18th?
Oh, 18th. Okay.
Or from recording this, it's Saturday.
Okay.
I know that now because Rob at Black Circle Records keeps posting about it, and that's how I remember. Now, Vivian, let's go back to Chamber of Commerce.
Yep.
Because this is where I inserted this conversation. Chamber of Commerce, they can help you with almost every single step of this process of planning your ribbon cutting. What I think is, I don't want to say the most helpful, but I mean, they can help you. The most valuable. That's better. Yes. The most valuable part is that they can help get the local government involved.
Yes. Well, okay. And so since you brought that aspect up, one of the things that I wanted to bring up is inviting the right people is super important. And so we do want you to let people know, because obviously if you're a restaurant, if you're a boutique, if you're a record store, if you're anything that requires customers coming through your doors, then you do want it to be somewhat open to the public, right?
Yeah.
And so that's where the media can help you. That's where you posting on Facebook, letting people know, hey, drop in during this time. We're going to be having our ribbon cutting is helpful.
Put it in your email newsletters.
That's right. However, you do want to still identify specific people that you want there in attendance. One of the things that the chamber does is they have a healthy relationship with all of those local representatives. And so then they notify them, and then the representatives will usually show up because they want to be integrated in the business community.
Yeah.
And sometimes that means the mayor can be there.
The mayor?
Yeah. And sometimes they can't, depending on their schedule. But if that is something specifically that you would like, then, talking to the chamber about that and saying like, hey, would you be able to help me get at these people there? They more than likely would be able to reach out on your behalf. So keep that in mind. But overall, not just when it comes to maybe local representatives, the right people could also be people that specifically are your target audience.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you have a skate park that's opening up to the community,
Okay.
I mean, are you going to invite local insurance agents or are you going to invite skaters?
Knowing you, you're going to invite all the insurance agents.
I mean, they can sell health insurance that
No,
day.
no. She's right. Invite your skaters.
Yes. And so, you do want to be very targeted with who you're sending these invites to.
Yes. As well as the public.
Yes.
Yes. If you're a public facing storefront, then yes, you want to also invite the public. I want to bring up now, Chamber of Commerce can help you in every step of planning this ribbon cutting. Mm-hmm. If you are a part of your local Chamber of Commerce, I would suggest, I am suggesting that you reach out to them and they can help you with this entire process.
And just so you're aware, local chambers usually have different levels of membership. So if you're thinking that it takes $1,000 to join your local chamber, yes, there is an opportunity to join at that level, but there are some other options that are a little more budget friendly. Mm-hmm. And so you could probably find something from $250, $300, just depending on where you're at.
And if you're not part of your local Chamber of Commerce, don't fret. A lot of these chambers actually offer ribbon cutting services, even if you're not a part of the community.
A fee.
Yeah.
But
for a fee, yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But that is a great way for them to also raise money and also lend a hand with one of the things they're really, really good at, which is getting people to show up for ribbon cuttings.
Yeah. Okay, Vivian, is there anything we're missing when it comes to prepping for a ribbon cutting?
Yeah, not necessarily. I think just being aware of, depending on if you're getting someone to assist you, like the chamber, asking them up front when you're doing the preparations, asking them up front, what exactly do you supply? Do you supply me with the ribbon and the bow? Do you supply the big scissors? And so that way, if it's something that they don't supply, you have time to pick it up. Yeah. You don't want to find out about these things like the night before, and then that leaves you scrambling. Be sure that in your preparations, you're asking all of the right questions for the things that you need day of. The only other thing too that I'll add preparation wise is one of the things that helps me with events is actually visualizing, and I know this seems really silly, but it works, actually visualizing what you want that day to look like.
Okay.
And what that helps with specifically is, like, if you close your eyes and you're like, okay, I'm going to have a ribbon cutting. It's going to be a morning ribbon cutting. It's going to start at this time. People are going to come in. Am I going to have the food there? Okay, what else am I going to have to keep them kind of like interactive or keep them engaged besides just eating? And so maybe that's where you're like, maybe I could set up a little photo op place over here, right? Or maybe I can have, poster boards that talk about certain services or whatever it is. Or maybe I can actually have people showing what skincare services we offer if we're a spa. Those types of things help because visually you're looking to see how are people kind of moving through the room and what can I do to get people, instead of just huddled in a corner, to get them dispersed throughout, the area. This episode of the S.O.B Marketing Podcast is brought to you by the S.O.B community. if you're a small business owner that is neglecting your marketing and you feel like you've wasted money and time on marketing help that didn't deliver, or if you're just craving support from people who actually get what it's like to run and promote a small business, then our membership community is for you. Visit school.com/SOB to sign up today to get instant access and weekly support. That's SKOOL.com/SOB.
So let's move on, Vivian, to the day of. So what actually happens during a ribbon cutting? Where do we start? Where does it open up?
Yep. So obviously we start with welcoming guests. Okay. So you want to be able to do this whether you're doing it yourself or perhaps you have a dedicated staff member that's going to do it on your behalf. But this is a great way to kind of let people know where things are. Hey, we have refreshments over here. We have a little photo, photo op over there, this and that. Feel free to move around through the rooms and stuff. So be sure to give people clear instruction on that. If some of this is going to be predicated on what you envision for that day. So if part of what you're envisioning is like, great, I could get people on my email list, then I can promote to them later on down the road. Then at some point, maybe at the beginning when you're welcoming them, it'd be nice to say like, hey, by the way, why don't you go ahead and sign in? And then you have a column for emails, right?
Yeah.
So be thinking about that, but welcoming them is the first step.
Absolutely. So we've welcomed everybody. We're kind of mingling. Now it's gotten to the point where we're going to give a speech, right?
Yes.
We're going to give a speech. Either you're going to give the speech, maybe you have a special guest, maybe you've asked the mayor to give a speech. That would be exciting.
Is this something from Bob's Burgers or something?
It absolutely is. Linda's obsessed with the mayor.
She is.
And every time she mentions him, she's like, it's the mayor! Yeah. So either you or a special guest or whoever you've designated to give a speech is going to go ahead and give it. It could be a brief history of your business. You want to talk about what you're celebrating. Obviously, if it's an anniversary celebration versus a grand opening, share what you can about your small business. This speech is supposed to, I don't want to say pull at the heartstrings, but like you want to make a connection with everybody who's in attendance.
Yeah, so don't just be like, we hope to make $10 million by next year. I mean, you do want it to be, if you have community members there, you want to just share what your purpose is in the community and how you look to integrate into it. The other thing, having gone to a lot of ribbon cuttings, please think about what you want to say ahead of time. It's awkward for people if you're just up there rambling, okay? And even I'm just going to alleviate the pain for you. If you're like, I'm nervous when I get up in front of people, that's okay. You're allowed to take talking points up there or even a piece of paper with handwritten stuff. I've seen people go up there and actually use bullet points from there. It works fabulously. What makes it weird is when you just kind of go up there, don't really have a purpose or an idea of what you're saying.
Yeah.
And also when it takes so long. Like, just be cognizant. Remember, people's time span is short. And especially if you have local representatives there, community members, you want to be sure that you're, respectful of their time.
Yes, I love that. Respectful of their time. That's important. So you've given a speech, a very respectfully lengthed speech. And now is the fun part, Vivian. It's the actual ribbon cutting. We're going to cut the ribbon and then we're going to do a photo op. Hopefully the news is there so that they'll record or take pictures of it. I have a pro tip from one of our community members, Be the Change, because they recently had a ribbon cutting that we went to. We did go to a ribbon cutting recently.
Oh, we did.
We did. God.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe I said that.
I can't believe you. Yes, we recently went to a ribbon cutting for Be the Change, their new facility in Park Circle. And she told us later on, she was like, if you're going to do a ribbon cutting, you got to hold the ribbon taut. because I was up there trying to cut the ribbon and it wouldn't cut.
Yes.
So just pro tip, tighten the ribbon, then cut it.
I mean, those big scissors are not to be used for cutting hair or for anything else. And they do require that whatever you're cutting be held very tightly. So that way it creates tension enough to where you can cut it. The other tip that I think I got from Haley too that day, she had mentioned something about, she said, when they were up there going to cut the ribbon, I think there was a little bit of a, I don't want to say kerfuffle, but they were like, who's going to cut it? They were kind of passing the scissors around. I think nobody wanted to actually do the cutting because the cameras are there. It's a big
deal. Yeah, the camera's right there.
Yeah. And so I think everyone was nervous and she stepped up to a plate and she was like, I'll do it, right? But you may want to have that discussion before, especially if you're going to have quite a few people. Think about, because there is going to be a photo op and hopefully you're going to use that photo, whether that be on social media, whether it be to send a press release post-event or anything like that. Or you may just want to frame that photo, right, and hang it on your wall. That right there, think of who you want in that photo, right, on your team. And so you want to be sure that all of the key people are there, your owners, your managers, specific team members. So think of that. And then also be sure that ahead of time, you're maybe telling one person like, hey, you're going to be the one to cut the ribbon, right? That may be you.
Yes.
Okay. Or you may dedicate someone else to do that.
So we've cut the ribbon. Now we kind of let everybody disperse. You want to mingle. This is when, if you had a raffle, we're going to do the raffle. We're going to give people some more time to enter the raffle. And then a little bit later on, we'll actually do the raffle or give away prizes and stuff like that for everybody in attendance. Really important, Vivian. I want y'all to find a way to let people know how they can stay involved or get to know your business.
Yeah, that could be as simple as reminding them where to follow you on social media because you guys update it all the time, or your website, whatever it is. You do want to give them an opportunity, or just let them know where to find you. And I probably should have mentioned this at the very beginning, but you know what's gotten really popular lately is day of, people will go live for the ribbon cutting, like on social media. So whether that be Facebook or Instagram, they usually will actually go live on the account to show the happenings for that day. So if that's something that you want to try, go ahead and do it.
I love that idea. Okay, Vivian, now I want to talk about what to do after the ribbon cutting. This is the part that a lot of people forget about. Let's remember, your ribbon cutting is not your goal. Your ribbon cutting is a marketing strategy to help you reach your goal, which is, I don't know, growth, visibility, making money, getting people into your storefront. So how are we going to do that? We're going to recap the event. We're going to share it on social media. We're going to share it in our email newsletters. We're going to blast it out again so everyone who maybe didn't know that you had a ribbon cutting will find out that you did. We also are going to thank everyone for coming.
Yes. And it'd be really great if you could. Now, granted, I know sometimes ribbon cuttings, people don't talk enough about how draining they can be.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, just because you are having to mingle and you guys, please, we want you to be in a good mood that day. So we want you to be pleasant and, talking to people out there. Was it shaking hands, kissing babies, all that good stuff. But
I'll kiss dogs.
Kissing dogs. If you're able to send a personalized type of, whether it be a text, an email, a DM, whatever it is, to someone that attended, I think that's a good idea. Are you realistically going to have the time to do that for everyone that went there? Maybe not. But if, let's say, you do have community leaders there, it would be great to actually send them a letter or a postcard or just a little thank you card that's handwritten. Just one of those small ones that says like, hey, thanks again for coming by our ribbon cutting. We appreciate your support and we look forward to partnering with you or to, being a part of this community. And I think that just kind of reiterates the relationship and it gives you guys kind of like you're sticking your foot in a door to kind of keep it open just a little bit. So that way in the future, if you ever needed something or you wanted to have a future conversation with them, you could, right?
Yes.
You feel comfortable enough now that like, hey,
Yeah. No, great point. And then you can thank the public in your social media and your email newsletters and just add verbiage that says, thank you to everyone who came and supported us. You also want to follow up with any leads you may have gotten. So these are the giveaways and the raffles that we were talking about. If you're doing that sort of thing, make sure that you are collecting data and that you are being very clear to people that you are collecting that data so that for marketing purposes.
Right.
Okay. Consent. We've had this discussion a lot on this podcast and we're going to have it again. Make sure you get consent before you are reaching out to people. But yeah, make sure that you're following up on those leads.
Absolutely. That is almost just as important just because, if the purpose is to promote your small business, part of that promotion is either getting people on an email list or adding them to your mailing database or just being able to connect with them afterwards to let them know about future products or services or sales that you have coming up. I mean, it's all part of that bigger picture. Chelsea, I may have missed this. Did you also mention in the follow-up conversation, did you also mention follow-up with media contacts?
I didn't, but that's a great point. Make sure you're following up with your media contacts as well.
Yeah. So, for example, like I'm just thinking, Be the Change Charleston, their ribbon cutting, they had a few media outlets out there to actually, write up about the event. And I'm just thinking, if the reporter's name, which you should, right? Introducing yourself. And then they usually come up and will ask for permission to be there. So getting that person's name, starting to follow them on whatever platform works best, or emailing them directly and just saying, hey, it was really great to meet you. What that does is that sets you up so that in the future, they can reach back out to you if they're running a story about something that's relevant in your industry. And so what I would do is, outside of just saying like, hey, thanks for coming, it was great to meet you, I would also say, I'm open to any future opportunities that you may have to, feature my business or to, I don't want to say feature me. I would find a different way to word that, right? Yeah. But in this industry or in this area, you guys would be surprised. We've mentioned this before. It is hard to be a reporter these days. They have a 24/7 news cycle. If you don't think that sometimes they are hard up for ideas on what to run, especially when it's a slow news day, they sometimes, that's not saying anything like, oh, you guys get the boring stories, right? When they're bored. What I'm saying is they may be looking to spotlight particular types of businesses throughout the season. Yeah. And your business, your experience, your take could be relevant to a future story that they do, and you may be that missing piece. And so just making sure that you're basically telling them, hey, keep me on your Rolodex just in case you need someone, with my particular experience. I'm more than happy to, to speak to any future reports you might need.
Yes,
that is reports, future
stories. Like stories. Yeah. That is a great tip, y'all, and I really hope you do that. Okay, Vivian, I'm going to go ahead and do the TLDL. Too long didn't listen. If you skipped ahead to this chapter, I'm going to give you a brief summary of what we talked about today. However, you need to go and listen to this entire conversation because that's where all the helpful tips are. So today we talked about ribbon cutting, specifically what happens at a ribbon cutting. I split it up into prep, day of, and post. So how to prepare for your ribbon cutting, what happens the day of your ribbon cutting, and then how to make the most of the event after it's happened. Because let's remember, a ribbon cutting is not your goal. It is a marketing strategy to get you to your marketing goal. Okay, Vivian, is there anything else you want to add?
Yes, I actually want to give a shout out to one of our listeners, Odd Frog Art. They left us a review.
Oh, thank you.
All right, so 5 stars, title helpful. And it says, this podcast has given me a lot of information. I've been looking forward to start my small art business. Congratulations, first and foremost, on starting your art business. What a big leap. We wish you so much success. If you're following us on any of our social media accounts, ping us and let us know when you're launching or send us your handles, because we want to start following you and do whatever we can to be helpful and useful to share that information. But if you guys haven't, please leave us a review.
Pretty, please.
That allows, listen, we're not just being selfish when we say that, okay? Listen, just like Odd Frog Art got some useful information to start their small business, we want to provide resources and tips to small business owners specifically. And as a fellow small business owner, you should want to help other small business owners. You know, we gotta stick together, you guys.
Absolutely. Reviews help us get in front of more SOBs. So please leave us a review. We may or may not, we probably will shout you out.
Yes. And if you are a SOB, go get one of these trucker hats like Chelsea's wearing. So just to kind of let the world know you're waving your SOB flag out there.
Flag. Yep. Okay. And you know what? Go be the best SOB you can be.